Come and brew with us. This is RNG Tea with Christine Kooky Solis and Sarah Skopic.
It's locked.
With your random sips of life and gaming.
Hello, and welcome to RNG Tea. This is Christine, aka Cookie Persona, with my co-host Sarah Skopic. How are you doing today, Sarah?
Full of energy and love and happiness, which will not be what this episode is about.
No. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I know this has been a monthly podcast, and in the very beginning, we're like, oh, we're going to do 2 times, or a weekly bi-weekly podcast, but it's been a monthly podcast.
It's fine.
We'll talk about it later and why it's been a monthly podcast so far. But I hope you are joining us. Again, our podcast is available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, everywhere. Just look up RNGNT. We stream our episodes live on twitch.tv/RNGNT, which we have Sling Vogel, Beats by Fade, Darkflex, Chili, Heartslut Pelly, and Trash Panda Skuro on the chat right now. Thank you so much for enjoying our stream and for subscribing and following us. Make sure you do that. We usually have like a 30-second dance before we record the episode, so if you haven't seen that yet, again, subscribe or follow us on twitch.tv/RNGNT. Sarah's laughing.
It's because it's my fault it started. I take full responsibility.
Yeah. Anyway, again, our podcast is available everywhere. Just don't forget to leave us a review. We do want to have reviews and read them out. We have not had a written review yet. Sad face, cry face.
Sad face, much sad pandas. Leave us a review.
Yes, please. We did have a 5-star review, but it's just a 5-star rating. I mean, that's what I meant. Only a 5-star rating.
We have a 5-star rating, not to brag, but our one rating is a 5-star. But there were no words, so we don't know why it was a 5-star.
Right, exactly. Darkflex says, I said the ban word. So in our Twitch chat, we do have a ban word out there. Let's see if people can figure out what it is while we're doing this episode.
Give you a hint, Christine said it.
Okay, so a little bit of update. As I said, we are doing like Trash Panda TV said moist. No, it's not moist.
No, you didn't even say that. Anyway.
No, I didn't. Where did I say moist?
Not that I know of. Anyway, that's not the word. Try again.
Oh my goodness. Okay. The reason why we're just like starting out this podcast because everything has gone to shit, and I am gonna say shit because it's just been crazy the past month. As I said, we've been doing these podcasts monthly. In the very beginning, back in November, December, whenever our first episode was, we said we were going to try to do bi-weekly, like your paycheck. I got paid today. Did you get paid today?
I did get paid today.
Yes, payday. RNG and Tea plus payday.
Happy day. But anyway, yes.
But it has been busy. With the COVID situation, I was actually officially laid off from my casino job. So, which is okay because I actually found a different job and it is having me work from home, and it's just been hard trying to find time. But now that it's an actual regular scheduled time, I can possibly do bi-weekly, but that is up to Sarah too. I know, Sarah, you've been having troubles with your work. What's going on with you?
Yeah, my work isn't, so my hours haven't necessarily changed. We're working from home. It's just that I'm a social worker and I do therapy, right. And it's just exhausting, I would say. And they did some changes with my particular department that we did not agree with. It just made us feel very disrespected, I think is the only way to really put it. That's all I'm really going to say in the matter. However, I will say that what my job has been doing well is trying to keep us safe. Like, we're not rushing to go back to work. At one point, we thought we had to rush to go back in the building, but thankfully, our governor signed a law that we can continue what we're doing, and we're good. So I'm at least safe. It's just very long hours. It just feels longer than even if my hours haven't technically changed. Yeah, paperwork is always mounting. I took a break and then started paperwork, and it took me like an hour and a half to complete my 6 hours of work of paperwork today. So yeah, it's not fun. But yeah, it's just that kind of stress, and so mental energy and morale has been low in this device, in this person.
Yeah, so this is why we do RNG and Tea, to help with Sarah's mental capacity as well. You guys make us happy. You're listening, you're watching. Thank you so much again for hanging out with us. So it will stay, as far as I know of, it will stay monthly for now, as we have so much going on. But if there's any changes, and if we decide that we're going to move forward more with RNG and Tea, then we will. It's just one of those times where there's just too much going on.
Yeah. That being said, we really appreciate all of you guys who've been keeping our Discord active. We are trying to kind of start to stream a little bit more. I've been really bad about it. I know, Kristen, you've been streaming quite a bit.
Heck yeah. The Last of Us 2 is out. I actually, I finished The Last of Us 1 last weekend, and I just started crying. Because it's so good. And I'm like, I really need to finish the second one. So I have been playing through the second one. I'll be streaming it over this weekend. Heartslide is saying the Discord is insanely active. Active is a mild understatement.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know, it's just really exciting from my point of view, because what's kind of interesting is I feel like Christine and I have kind of not taken over, but like we're active in different sections. You almost never hear me in the shoot 'em section. But I will.
What is that?
An emote thanks for a subscription.
Yes, thank you, Trash Panda, for the subscription for 3 months. I always forget that the alert is so loud in my ears, but thank you.
Gotcha. It scared the shit out of me.
It did. So you were saying, yeah, I'm more a little bit active in the Shoot 'em channel, because we have a Valorant squad every Friday. So today is Friday, which we're recording, so we will have a Valorant stream later tonight. A little bit of Overwatch in there as well. Sarah, you've been more active in the Animal Crossing.
I have been. I've been more in the turnip collection. That's definitely been my thing, although I am slowing down my Animal Crossing. I'll still be active on there, but basically I've been going on every day to slowly try to get the freaking blue rose and get slowly my whole town situated. It's going to look quite beautiful and organized when I'm done, so I'm very excited to see it. But in the meantime, it keeps raining on my island, which means I keep having flowers that I don't need.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's island, because it's been raining on my island too. I'm like, ugh, more tulips. Ew.
Exactly. Hello, Thantos80. It's nice to see you too.
Yes.
But yeah, so, and I have been starting a new game. I haven't gotten the whole thing yet, but I took the plunge and I'm starting Elder Scrolls Online. I know, it's crazy. So I'm only level 10, which I realize I say only like it's not that high, but it's really easy to get to level 10 pretty quickly in that game. I'm still like learning everything, and I'm having a great time actually. I wasn't sure I'd feel about it. I'm not usually an MMO person, but they really, this feels a little bit more like Skyrim, which I adore Skyrim. So I'm having a great time. I will probably at some point post, I think I posted on my Twitter, my user ID, so hit me up. Say hi. I might try to stream a little bit once I kind of get more into it and maybe buy more expansions. I only have like the basic right now because I wasn't sure, but I probably will get the expansion because it is fun. So
yeah, I thought that I was gonna ask you, are you gonna stream it, because we do need some stream time from you.
Yes, I know.
You haven't streamed in a while.
I know. It's because I usually want to be more prepared when I stream, and I have not been. But I'm hoping to try to get it better with that. I don't know if I'm going to have necessarily like a day where I do it or anything like that, but I'm going to try my best. And we'll see where that goes. That's my plan, is to just try to start streaming whatever I'm doing. It's just going to be a lot of me going, okay, now we go to this quest. All right, I think I'm going to go to this quest. Oh, gosh, there's a lot of mud crabs. Why so many mud crabs?
Oh, my God, all the crabs.
Anyway, so, you know.
Yeah, Real Hot Chili Pepper says he's been watching Maelstrom Radio. Our friends over there, we've been on their
Yes.
podcast, so check them out, Maelstrom Radio. It looks like they've been playing it recently, doing boyfriend-girlfriend streams, so...
Yes, they said they were
kinda
going to
cool.
friend me, so I'm waiting to hear from them and do that. And I did have another, actually, Hyper Pixie let me join her guild. That was very kind of her. So I already have a guild, guys. You can join up to 5 guilds, so that's not the only one I'll join.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. Cool. So that's what's been up basically with our lives in a jumble mess too.
in a nutshell,
In
in
a
a very
nutshell.
big jumbled nutshell in a playpen of those colorful balls like you see at a Chuck E. Cheese.
I am so bad at words, but you took the words. That was a lot better than my words.
Ball pit. I couldn't think of the word ball pit, so I
Yeah,
was
there
still
we
not very good at words. No, hold on. Let me be more specific. Our life is currently a ball pit at TumblrCon.
What the heck is a Oh my god, there's a Tumblr con?
No, well, there was. Very short. Oh, did you not hear about that? Dude, that was years ago. So you know
No.
Tumblr, right?
Yes, I know Tumblr. I know there was a
literally-
con.
They tried. There basically just was a bunch of bunch of users that wanted to make a convention about Tumblr, which is like trying to make a convention about Facebook.
Mhm.
So they tried to put together, it was a huge hot mess, like immensely. The guests that they were trying to get had to like back out last minute because they weren't like paying them or something like that. The hotel last minute was like, you didn't do this and this for us. And I guess they were also, I guess, a little screwed over, but they also had no planning skills because it was basically a bunch of people who were like, I'm going to put a con on, who had no experience doing that. And the big joke was that because they did not have the things that they were promising, they at one of their things is they had this tiny, sad ball pit. And like I said, because they have nothing, they were like advertising, hey, we are extending hours to our ball pit. And that was the TumblrCon.
To clarify, it was called DashCon, and
Yes,
they ended up
thank
getting
you.
rid of that ball pit because someone pissed in it.
That's right. That too. Thank you. I knew it wasn't actually called TumblrCon, but I couldn't remember what it was. It was DashCon, which I don't know why it was called that, but you know. So yeah.
Can I admit something right now?
Yeah. What's up?
I pissed in a ball pit once and didn't tell
What?
anyone.
Was it at the ball pit in Tumblr and DashCon?
Were you a
was you.
child?
Yeah, please tell me you were a child.
I was a child. It was
Okay,
it was at the IKEA ball pit. So
Was it on accident at least?
yeah, I guess you can say that.
I guess. It either was or
I
it wasn't.
don't remember.
Christy.
It was so long time ago. I just remember sitting there in a ball pit and just.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Anyway, as you can hear, we also do have our producer Lloyd. I almost forgot about him because he was late to our own podcast.
He was late to our pod, which is very professional, Lloyd.
So I'm forgettable because I'm 8 minutes late. I'm sorry.
Time. Usually workplaces have a grace period of 5 minutes, so you are late, Lloyd.
It's true. Early is
Most
on time,
workplaces
Lloyd.
pay their people too, so
Oh man,
No, I don't really have a
ouch.
good comeback for that one.
Dun, dun, dun. So now you guys know that we don't pay Lloyd.
It's true. Free labor. We're bad at this. Anyway, give us some money so we can pay Lloyd. If you want us to pay Lloyd, you have to give us some money. Also, I'm not sure if that's a good thing to say. I'm not sure that's gonna entice people to want us to have money if we're just saying it's to pay Lloyd. Sorry, Lloyd.
No. We have plans. It just hasn't been done yet because we have been busy. We did have stuff under our belt. It's still there. It just hasn't been implemented yet. So, Phantoms.
That's because I took a drink of water for those who are listening before. Christine said that she wasn't sure if she had it on accident, the ball pit. But I'm okay now.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
am not choked on screen yet.
other things that happen on RNG Tea, we are still doing our Alien RPG Rolling in Stress. We just had our recent one, not last Sunday, the other Sunday.
Last Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. That's right.
Yes.
So it is up on our website at rngnt.com. I am a little worried of what's going to happen there. So
Yeah,
check
that
it
was a
out.
stressful session.
It was. And then this Sunday, if you are here, we're gonna have a one-shot Coliseum RPG D&D thing. I don't know what it is. It's not us. It is for someone named Skuro, aka Trash Panda TV. He's the one running that shit.
So it's a Coliseum. I'm not in it. Christine's in it though, so
Yeah.
you should watch and support her. But basically, it's not going to be very roleplay-esque. It's very much. I think everyone's level 10. Pretty high rolling game, and they're all trying to. I don't think it's going to be PvP if I recall, but you guys are all going to try to work together to defeat, bad guys in a Coliseum. So it'll be interesting. What class are you playing, Christine?
I am a barbarian something else. I forgot. Barbarian
Ooh.
something.
Maybe
Barbarian
fighter?
fighter. Yeah, most
Okay,
likely.
that makes sense. Yeah. So big tough person, smash a lot of things, rages a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Lloyd
Yeah,
will be in
sounds
it too. Omega will toss sad because he wants to be in it. Omega, if you are on a Discord, you would have known.
It's true. Is he not on our Discord?
You gotta join our Discord.
You gotta join our Discord! It's so active! You're gonna get, notifications every 5 seconds. I should know because I look at my phone and go, damn it, not again!
Oh, speaking of, yeah, Discord has been active. I've been just active on Discord as well because another part of my life, which is why I've been pretty busy, is because I actually I mentioned this last podcast, but I moderate some wrestlers' Discords. So I've been going pretty crazy. If you don't know who Miro Rusev is, or Austin Creed is, or Mike Rome, or Drew Gulak, I know you're just like, who are these people? But they're part of the WWE wrestling world, so I've been into that right now. So I've been going crazy. My hair's being pulled everywhere. You turned that off.
Hair's being pulled, arms being pulled.
Everywhere.
everything's being pulled.
Anyway, again, a lot of things happened the past month, and we're going to be talking about it. There has been some sexual harassment stories. We have Black Lives Matter, and Pride Month is this month of June. It is coming to an end, but we want to, celebrate as that as well. So that's coming up.
Yeah! Celebrate Pride, because I'm in it. We'll get to that. But yeah, so it's been quite the month. Where do we even start?
I don't know. Let's see here. Let's start off with the first thing that happened. Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. So I'm sure if those of you have been living under a rock, which we are not necessarily the best ones to provide news that are not gaming related in this case, but due to the tragic police brutality that's been happening, Black Lives Matter has gotten reignited, and so of course in the gaming world that has also been reignited there as well. Obviously there's been a lot going on, I should say, in general, in the news in the United States about this kind of stuff. But here, hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
And what's also been super awesome is, at least in the gaming world, there's just been a lot of so even just what really surprised me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, was the response from some of our gaming console entertainment. Sony Entertainment delayed their
PlayStation
showing.
5, yeah.
Yes, they're showing because the day that they were going to was, what was going on that day? It wasn't Juneteenth, but it was essentially meant to be a day of people had used as I think it was the Blackout Day,
Yeah.
which was meant to be very much just posting about Black artists, Black creativity, Black resources and stuff like that. And so kind of in response to that, they delayed. And a lot of people got mad unfairly, but they did eventually, do their thing. And yay, PlayStation 5.
Oh, that came out in the news too. This
I
past
know.
week.
I
There's
just
so much
realized that
happened.
we didn't even think of that. So yeah, PlayStation 5 got revealed.
Excuse me.
It looks. I will have one in my home. I will guarantee that.
It's a day one purchase for me. Period.
Yeah, for sure. The games that they're coming out for it are gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
Yes, Chili Pepper, you're probably the only person I've met who actually likes the design. Everybody makes fun of it. I don't see anything wrong with it per se. I don't know. Like, it doesn't bother me that much, but I know a lot of people are really some of the memes about it have been hilarious, though.
I like it too.
But-
I like it. It's sleek, it's curvy, it's
yeah.
sexy to me, but
Yeah.
I
I
love
thought so.
I think it's just in the culture that we are right now, or the generation that we are, there's always going to be memes about everything. So
That's true. That's true. And even seeing in our chat, most people are like, "Yeah, it looks really cool." It's just I think whatever Twitter's people are just super loud and obnoxious, I guess, because there was so much hate about
no,
it.
they're creative.
Creative, is
There
that what we're
has
gonna
been-
call that
There
now?
has some been pretty good creativeness coming out of the PS5 design. So
Yes, those memes are so funny. They are pretty great.
yeah. Anyway, back to Black Lives Matter. I do have something to admit. If you have been following our social media, I did once tweeted out hashtag All Lives Matter, and I have to apologize for that, for myself, because yes, all lives do matter, but then we do have to see the integrity of what Black lives do matter most of all. So again, I apologize for that if you did see that tweet or on the social media, but again, we here at RNG Tea do believe in Black Lives Matter. So
Yes, and I apologize in my part in not being forward on that either. So we will both all apologize for that. So that it was not at all the intention of that particular hashtag. We do not associate with the group that says things like that. We definitely
right.
associate with hashtag Black Lives Matter. Just so our position is absolutely clear. The tweet is no longer there. The tweet was pretty much updated, if I recall correctly, with
Yes.
the correct stuff, and to make sure that you guys were aware. But
yes.
public apologies, because we want to make sure that is all clear.
Yes, if you don't know, yes, all lives do matter. But if you want to see where that came from, just do a quick Google search. It's there. I was uninformed, and yeah, that was just my fault.
Yeah, it is not made by a statement of group that actually really believes it. I would say they are using it in response to shut down conversations about Black Lives Mattering. So instead of saying like, yes, we need to be aware of everyone and what's going on, they are using it to say, no, you can't say Black Lives Matter because all lives matter, which is not the point at all and completely defeats everything about it.
Right.
So just making sure that we are clear on that page.
Yes, and again, I apologize for that. I felt so bad when I was like, oh shit, damn.
I felt bad too, because I think
no.
I remember that tweet, and I was like, and I just wasn't thinking, because I think I even retweeted it, and now it's gone from the retweet, and I was like, oh shoot. I just too much, but that was bad. That was our fault, and it's been fixed. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are wondering.
Yeah, and you realize I keep saying shit today because there has been a lot of shit going on. So.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. So celebrate the Black lives who are in your lives, basically.
Yes.
Support them. Of course, I've mentioned Erin Ashley Simon. She was originally a esports host with Cheddar, and now she's doing her own thing. I love her. She's doing great stuff in esports, even though she's not with Cheddar anymore. I follow a Black Twitch streamer, Miss Ashrock. She is awesome, by the way. She has been doing charity for like St. Jude, as well as the George Floyd charity that's been going on. Do any Black artists that you know? I mean, even if you can't go out and protest with them, support them, basically, just to support them.
There are lots of ways you can support. Even if you can't necessarily go to the protests, there are funds that are currently being raised, whether it's bailout funds or just even organizations that help all of these matters. So look up hashtag Black Lives Matter. You will find stuff. Trust me.
It hits me hard a little bit because my cousins are half Black, half Filipino, and I've seen them crying, and I'm like, oh my God, don't do this to me. I know you're my family, and yes, Black lives do matter. So yeah, I'm gonna start crying if I keep talking about it. So I'm not gonna have 2 episodes in a row where Cookie's crying. Also, as we said, Pride Month is this month in June. As you know, Sarah has come out as
I am pansexual, y'all.
she is.
Was in the closet for a while, and then I started dating my fiance, and I could not be in the closet anymore. So that's how that happened.
And we love you. And we like
Yay!
everything happens. I mean,
Yes.
what made you decide to come out? Besides your fiance.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had to do a lot of with it because basically I think I was in the closet at that point for about 6 or 7 years. And I was like starting to come out to some people, but it didn't really go over very well. Because I was starting to first come out to like strangers because you would think they would be the ones that would be more like, okay, cool. But they were actually the worst about it because they wouldn't believe me.
Really?
And yeah, it was, I mean, everyone's got a different experience with coming out because usually you would think the ones closest to you would be the hardest because A, they're closest to you, and B, if they don't really know as much about you as you do about yourself, they may think you're not like telling the truth, you're trying to be special, that kind of thing. So I tried it with people that I just kind of knew as acquaintance wise, but they just didn't believe me. So that was great. And then, yeah, I mean, essentially what happened was when I met Callie and we started to get closer and stuff like that, and I knew my mother and my father was seeing me hanging around her and was like, what's going on here? And so I needed to be able to say like, listen, this isn't really that weird for me. Because what I didn't want is for people to be like, oh, you know, are you confused? I'm like, no, this isn't the confusing part of this crush. So yeah, it was just, and I finally think at that point just decided it's time. You know, I think for a lot of people, not all people, but I think a lot of those on the LGBTQ spectrum, they're just kind of comes to a point where you're kind of sick of hiding it. I'll tell a story if I can real quick
go ahead.
about how I knew like this is real. This actually, I hadn't come out yet again for a couple of years. This was, I think, like after year one of realizing it for myself. And I was part of a class where we had to do like some kind of community work, and so I chose a community called I chose Big Brothers Big Sisters. So basically I was going to be the big sister for a little girl at a school. We would meet up like once a week and hang out, and nothing big. So they ask you a series of questions, and then they say, okay, these next two questions, you know, your answers to these questions do not preclude what we believe. However, parents will want the answers to these questions because they may have opinions on what kind of people they want around their children. So they asked about my religion, which was fine, but then they asked about my sexual orientation. And I lied, and I said I was straight. Because at that moment, I thought, I had never been asked that before, straight up. And also in my head, I thought, well, it doesn't matter. It's not going to come up. At the time, I was dating a man, so who cares? I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And I left out of that interview feeling so disgusted with myself. It was just that moment of I lied, like I was not honest with somebody, like it did not feel good. No. And so after that, I never necessarily lied to people. I just wouldn't say, basically. I just never like people maybe assumed what I was, but I just never corrected them or said anything. So yeah, and then eventually I was like, nope, I need to be honest. So here I am.
I'm me. So some people might not know what pansexual is. What is pansexual exactly?
So pansexual, so to be completely transparent with you guys, it's one of those what we call the multisexual groups. A lot of you probably heard of bisexual, and a lot of people are like, what is the difference between bi and pansexual? Which is completely understandable because the difference between them is honestly just depend on how you feel about it. So usually bisexuality is described as attraction to either like at least two genders or to your own gender and another gender. It of course used to mean attraction to men and women, but because of trans and non-binary identities, most bisexual people would not tell you they're only attracted to men and women. Right. Pansexual kind of came about as a result of that originally, because its definition is attraction to all genders. The reason I apply more with pan versus bi is honestly the differences are very nuanced. With pansexual, it's more of this feeling of I am attracted to people regardless of gender. Like gender isn't necessarily a thing for me, an attraction. So that kind of description fits my experience more rather than attracted to like multiple genders. I will say another thing that this is not true for everybody. I need to put that out there. It just depends on what style you believe in more. But part of the reason I also preferred pansexual is because there's communities with different sexualities, right? And the bisexual community, I have found typically the way that their sexuality is interpreted is like they may have preferences for what kind of man they want versus what kind of woman they want versus non-binary, etc. They may have like preferences. I like a muscled man, but I like a curvy woman, stuff like that. Right. While pansexual is much more like I like this kind of thing in a person regardless of gender, which is more how I feel. I like the things that I like in looks wise are very much the same across all genders.
Yes, we've talked
You
about
all
this
know
before.
that. Yes. So like it's that kind of thing. Again, you know, not everyone's going to feel that way. It's a very personal kind of definition, and that's perfectly fine. But that's how I define it as, is I can feel attraction regardless of gender or gender expression. So that's me. If you ever have any questions, you can tag me on living in RNG and I'll probably answer it if it's polite.
Again, our Discord is there. You know, if you need to reach out to anyone, any of us on the RNG and Tea community, are the tea baggers, which we call our people. we're available.
That's a thing.
I know, I forgot to. But yeah, we're available to talk with either me or Sarah or Lloyd. Again, any of our teabaggers. Heartslot, who's clapping in the chat, proud of Sarah for coming out.
Thank you.
We do have an LGBTQ committee as well, and you're welcome. So you're welcome to join us in anything. And if you are still in the process of not yet coming out, you know, talk to Sarah. See how, you know. She'll tell you her experience. She told her experience here. But if you just need someone to talk to any of
I'm
us.
here.
She's a therapist. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh, no. If you want therapy, that costs money. I ain't doing that shit for free anymore. High school Sarah might have, but I've learned. You're good at something, don't do it for free. No, but I'm teasing. But yeah, you know, if I'm more than happy to talk with anyone who's not sure, and you know, about my journey. If you're wondering about yourself, you know, I think the hardest part with my journey was telling myself that it's real. You know, even if, you know, for a while I thought I was only going to date men, I thought I was going to marry a man, and that did not work out. So you know, that whole experience is, I totally understand. So if you have any questions, you know, for sure, let me know. And yes, you're welcome, Dark Flux. Again, you know, those differences. There's also polysexual, which is kind of its own category too. That one's kind of growing in popularity. Basically, that one's like pansexual, except I like only certain genders, but I don't really have a good description for what they are.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
I think
different and
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, and you know, and again, there's even omnisexual, which I don't even know what that one is, to be honest with you. I think it's very similar to pansexual. And again, it's like, whatever term you like, you know, I would say go out to communities that identify that term, see how you feel about them. That's how I figured it out. You know, let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer what I can. I am not the end all be all, but I'm here and I'm queer.
I'm here and I'm queer. I love that so
I've been wanting to say that forever.
I give you props. I like it. And again, our stance is we welcome everyone, Black gamers, at any kind of race, LGBTQ, anyone. Okay, we're here to just spread positivity. We're not here for any kind of hate or anything like that. No. Sarah's like wagging her finger. No.
Nope. No hate is welcome.
No. And we're getting like thank yous in the chat saying thank you for explaining the differences, and that's true. I didn't even actually know the difference, and I'm glad you explained it to us. So.
For sure. I did a lot of research when I was figuring it out. There was a lot going into it.
Yeah. So speaking of positivity, there has been some bad stories that have been coming out with gaming and streaming lately. Again, this whole month has just been shit, and I just okay.
What I will say though, on a slightly positive note, it's negative because so much of these news, which we'll kind of get a little bit into, is happening at once.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that this stuff has been happening. It's not just coming out because it just happened. This has been happening for a while, which we'll talk about. So I guess I will say that some positivity is the fact that it's coming to light, finally. But it is overwhelming. Well, let's get into some of what we're talking about, and I'll comment further.
All right. So at first, okay, so the first time I've heard about this is basically with, well, as I said before, I'm a wrestling fan. So the wrestling community had this hashtag speaking out, in which, wrestlers have been coming out about sexual harassment, about getting into the wrestling industry. And then all of a sudden I see stories about sexual harassment in the gaming and streaming industry, including a friend of mine and ours, basically. She spoke out in regards to being sexually harassed just to get into the gaming industry, sexual favors being asked, and saying, hey, I introduced you to the head of whoever so and so, I can get this person to be your sponsor on your stream. Hey, I did all of this stuff for you, why don't you return the favor to me? And this thing has been happening for years, and it's been kind of crazy hearing these stories. Fortunately, me and Sarah hasn't gone through anything like this. I hope not.
No.
Right. Okay.
No. And I will say, I was going to say this before, but I wanted to wait till we clarify what we were talking about. I think what the hardest part about having all those stories come out was honestly fear for me. Just like, I love this space. I love being on Twitch. I love video games. I love talking about esports. But so much, I think for me, even though I am a woman who is aware of all this happening, seeing all the stories was even still eye-opening for me. Just how rampant it was, where it's like, is there even a place for us without this kind of shit, And it's kind of terrifying. Some of the doxing stories, which is so scary for me, and stuff like that, and the stalking, and such, and the requests and the demands. And there was a moment where I was like kind of scared, like just like for a little bit, where I was just kind of scared to like, do I want to continue with this? Because this is terrifying, like Christine said, we've been I hate to say, but we've been very fortunate to never have had to truly experience this kind of harassment. We've had here and there harassment, but honestly, it's been very minor compared to anything like this, which still is terrible. But it's gross. That's all I can say. It's gross.
And it's I think it's just hits us a little bit home because we know some of these people that have been involved in this. It's not just women who are our friends, but the people who've done the allegations to the how do I say this? I don't want to say harasser, or that kind of thing. It's just
perpetrator.
Even then, like, even with it's not just men who does it to women. I've seen where men have been speaking out as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just been both ways, and it's just weird that everything is coming out now. Darkflex in the chat says this pandemic may have been the best thing for us to actually progress as a society because people have had the time to mull it over and are fed up, which is true. We've been like sitting here at home thinking about our lives and whatnot, and it's just crazy, like, knowing that this kind of stuff has been happening for years, and hopefully it won't be happening for years to come in the future years, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it is frustrating because this is the kind of reasons why when we hear speak out about anything, with related to feminism and any kind of pushback. When I say we, I mean collectively we, not just us two. Yeah. You guys have been awesome. So it's not a thing I'm worried about with our group here. But just in general, how disgusting it really gets to me, where it's like, everything's equal. Girls don't have any problem getting into, gaming spaces and these kinds of spaces. And then these stories come out and it's like, no, actually, there is so much more to go. And some of this is way too damn recent. And I think that's also what hurts the most too. Yes, there is stuff from long ago, and there's stuff from like less than 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of scared because, like, I know some of these people. I'm like, here's the problem that not just a problem, it's just a question that I have. Do we really reprimand these people from something that was done like long time ago, and then affect their success now? I mean, that's just a question that's been bothering me. I don't want to sound like I don't want to, I guess, give them trouble now for their success versus for something that happened back then, or if I just need to know if they're still doing it, if that makes sense.
I do think that makes sense. And I think that is a really difficult question. I know
Yeah.
I think for me, there are lines I can draw for me personally. There are certain things that I find out you did this 10 years ago, even if you have, even if maybe you're not now doing it, I think it will forever color my perception of you, and I want nothing to do with you. I think there are also some things that I don't necessarily feel the same way about. And some of those things, some of those lines I draw in the sand are certainly not absolute and maybe not even morally correct, but that's the only way I can kind of keep sane about that, to be honest with you, because it is really hard. And I think that's a really good question, is like, are you still doing it? There was I don't really remember the name. I'm sorry, there's been so many people, but there was a similar issue that happened. There was a famous, he's in the gaming industry, and I don't really remember his name, but he came out very vocally and said, hey, listen guys, we need to do better with women in gaming industries. There's a lot that's going against them, blah blah blah. I know I have made mistakes, and I did not, those were not my intentions, but those were the effects, and I own up to them, blah blah. And so he's very apologetic, not really saying what he did, but was very apologetic and said, nope, we need to believe women, blah blah blah. But then a woman did come out, and the stuff she was accusing him of were pretty deep stuff. Like, it was not just, I hate to say it, but it was not just maybe like passing colorful harassing remarks. It was legit, like, real harassment, not real harassment, that's terrible to say, but very ugly things. And so all of a sudden it's like, okay, you apologized, and you may try to play the I just didn't really know card, but I can't really say that with what's being said here. So I feel that, I think it's really hard collectively as a society for us to draw those lines. I think that's never going to happen. I think of cancel culture, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
And cancel culture I feel cancel culture is mostly toxic with how it's being used. Personally, I feel. But I think overall there is, something to be said for it. Actually, random Facebook comment by a stranger I don't know on a friend of mine's wall honestly put really what I think is really wrong with cancel culture. And basically it was, those who feel actual guilt and remorse and would do better are the ones who get hurt and no longer feel that they can be in the community. And those who are truly, basically evil and don't care just laugh and keep going and are able to keep going. And that's so true, like I said, there's something to be said for, don't support someone who you feel you can't support. But I think it becomes a very personal question, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. There's a very fine line to it, and I'm just kind of scared. Like, some of these stories that come out is kind of like eye-opening. At the same time, a very, very little bit of me is kind of like doubting it, only because, it's not just women against men, it's men against women too. You've all heard of Amber Heard and the Johnny Depp dispute that happened.
Yes.
So, where Amber Heard was saying that Johnny Depp was abusing her when it was actually the other way around. So it's like...
Yep, and I still have some friends that still will say they'll never support Johnny Depp again, and it's like, oh, what a terrible thing that happened. I think when it comes to her, harassment and domestic abuse towards women, I think that particular story is more rare, but it is definitely eye-opening that, I think we can only work with whatever facts we have. I think it is good to believe when victims speak out, because I think majority of victims who speak out are speaking truthfully, especially people who have at this point a lot to lose if they are actually wrong. I think it's a little, because when you got two celebrities it's a little different, but when you got somebody who's not super well known and honestly is risking doxing and further harassment and stuff like that, I do tend to believe them. But I think it's difficult too, someone that you support. I think there was I don't remember his name, but a writer for who was one of the lead writers of a lot of RPGs I love was indicted in all of this, and that does hurt. It's like, how can but I think we do have a responsibility to root this out and know that there are people who deserve those positions of power essentially that are not going to do that.
But so I'm not saying like it's a he said she said thing, but if you do have anything that's bothering you, feel free to reach out. Again, we're here for you as well. I'm proud of my friend who's actually told her story, you know, it's just it's a lot to bear and just to keep in with you. So if you do have anything that you want to speak out, reach out to someone, even if it's not out in public. Just reach out to a friend, someone who you can trust about this. Twitch actually responded in regards to the allegations. They've actually already done some permanent suspensions and bannings on some of the people. I know someone who had stepped down from being a CEO because of these allegations. And I've actually spoken with that person from previous business, and I'm glad nothing's happened between me and that person. So a lot of stuff has been coming out. A lot of gaming industry has also been eye-opened with this and actually terminated some contracts with particular people. I'm not naming names only because it's out there. So if you want to look it up, it's out there. Just do a quick Google right now.
You will find it. And for me personally, it's just so many names to try to think of.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming, guys. It really is.
In our Discord, I put in the news article, and it comes up with the spreadsheet of all the different people that have spoken out. And again, we're proud of them for speaking out, and we're here for you. We do believe you. It's just so unfortunate that this happened during this time with so much things going on. This month has been shit.
For sure. Yeah. And I think it's important for all of us to, like Christine is saying, is it is always safer to be honest with you guys. It's always safer to believe the victim first, because the consequences of not are so severe for that person. So please believe victims first and crunch later. That's just please guys. Obviously we feel very strongly about this because we are women and our fellow sisters are getting so hurt, and we know this happens, and we are fortunate it hasn't happened to us, but we're fortunate for that. It could have. And even it's so funny because I say that and I still have to qualify that with, I mean, we've had a little bit of harassment, but not that much. But the fact that we even have to say that is too much, guys. So
have we gotten through harassment? No, not
too much. I mean, I'm thinking of your Valorant experiences. I'm thinking of very subtle, but there were a couple things in our old podcast that we had a couple of weirdos react to some of our stuff. It was very like I said, it was very minor and laughable. Like it wasn't.
Thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot about that. It's like, see, stuff like that happens to me. Like I just literally just brush my shoulder off and like get the fuck out of my life. I don't need this kind of shit. So
yeah, and that is the reality of our life. I laugh at it because sometimes that's all I really can do, I feel. But that's what I mean is like even that is just kind of wow. The fact that we have to even qualify with something like that is messed up. So.
Beats by Fate. Burn them all.
Burn them all down. Start anew. I'm fine with that.
And other lights of the pandemic that has made us crazy. Have you heard of this Twitch lawsuit? We were talking about it on our Discord.
Oh my god!
Where this guy by the name of Eric, I forgot his name. Eric Estavillo.
Yeah.
Oh, you were gonna say Aaron. I'm like, no, I did not do that.
No, not you, Lloid. Eric Estavillo. Just to let you know, he's a pro plaintiff. He's already sued Sony, Microsoft, other video game companies for over 10 years already. Yeah. So his most latest one was about Twitch, suing Twitch for having Twitch streamers with the Twitch women. Specifically with a litany, Pokimane. One of my friends, Chrissy Pride, even though she does not even stream on Twitch, is listed on this lawsuit, saying that, hey, you are showing these overly suggestive streamers. And Lloid, what did you say about it?
What did the plaintiff say?
Yes, what did the plaintiff say?
Apparently he ejaculated on his monitor and it caused a computer fire. And I still don't understand how the logistics of coming on your monitor makes an electrical fire in your computer.
Not just that, It was an electrical fire that blackouted his entire apartment complex for a couple hours.
Yeah. So it's like, what are you like? Are you peeing into your computer? Because that's the only like.
Is your pee gasoline?
Yeah. But like the logistics of that just doesn't make any sense. And then there was if you go into the thing, it's like my flashlight chapped my penis. We didn't need to know that information. We didn't need any of that, but you gave it to us in a lawsuit, a publicly, like, it's a document that you can go to a courthouse and request and read. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I don't understand what lawyer had to write this, or if he wrote it himself.
I don't think a lawyer wrote it. I think he just like went online and it's like, okay, this is how you type out a legal lawsuit.
Or
and
even a
then
public
just,
defender, I don't know. But yeah, for sure.
Well, they won't give him a public defender on a civil case.
That's you're right. Sorry. I'm really bad with law, guys. Sorry. But yeah, oh my god.
It's insane. It's like, how, like, why are you so stupid? And like, I was talking with Darkflux a couple days ago about this particular thing, and it's kind of like what happened with like Digital Homicide and Jim Sterling, where Digital Homicide like represented themselves and just had these outlandish claims, and basically what ended up happening is the Jim Sterling's lawyer told him, like, if we go to court, we're going to countersue you for everything you have. So do not go forward with this, drop the case. And I hope Twitch goes, like, doesn't even give him the option and just sets an example of him, basically like countersuing him for all this stupid bullshit that he's been doing. Like, I hope to God.
Yeah, I certainly hope so, because I am, there are some big companies that would rather settle and do something, which I think would be the wrong thing to do here. This guy does not deserve a dime. And I certainly also hope that they're not going to start cracking down on attractive streamers, It's so stupid. I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want it to get to court so the judge has to read it and just go, I don't know if I just want to hear that, or if I just want it completely thrown out of court.
I really hope it just gets thrown out of court and he gets nothing, because it's like saying, "Oh, turn it off." I'm like, you can turn it off yourself. I mean, you're not being you're not being forced to watch these people. So
yeah, but how many times have we heard that song and dance? Like, hey, I mean. Listen, this goes back to, lady, cover up, right? You're making me too aroused and it's hurting me, so cover up when you're outside. I mean, it's the same old shit and dance that we've heard before.
We have Twitch guidelines. I mean, it does say that you doesn't have to be, like, out there. I mean, you can cover nipples, or that's your fault. You're thinking sexually suggestive with things while watching these streamers. It's your fault it's Jacqueline's or it says fire in your computer. Like, that is not the fault of the ladies. Also, you chose to have that happen. That doesn't happen by accident.
You pointed that at your computer, you dumbass.
That is not, if it even happened, that is not an accidental action. God, that's stupid. But yes,
you guys point out. I'm just kidding. Never mind. I'm not gonna ask. That's a personal thing.
He points.
You just point somewhere. Oh, geez.
Can you just like go to the side? I think it might hurt a little bit, but at least try.
Most guys have a sock.
I was gonna say. I mean, they have measures against this. Even if it didn't cause a fire, it would be quite the mess. Christine doesn't want to talk about it.
I'm out. We're gonna hit TOS soon.
Yeah, we are gonna hit TOS soon. So no, we're not gonna talk about it here. You can talk it about our Discord. We can talk all you want on our Discord.
It's true. Yeah, Discord doesn't have rules against that. This is not a family-friendly channel. Do not show your kids. Mother, I'm sorry.
Oh, I forgot your mother listens to this.
She does. She didn't say that about the last one. I'm not sure if she watched it yet and just didn't say anything, or.
Well, if she doesn't know about common computers, now she will.
I know she'll just come up to me very confused and go, what was it about that guy? she'll make like a very like she'll make a comment I will not expect and go mother, and I'll start laughing.
Oh my gosh, Darkflex did not joke about that. He just came without his own consent.
Okay. I still don't think that's quite how that works though.
Omega Wotal says, "Hi, Sarah's mom."
Yes. Hello to my mother. She is a very lovely lady.
Yeah.
You haven't met my mother, have you?
No, not yet.
You'll meet her eventually.
Yes, eventually.
She's met you, technically. She's been a fan of us since the beginning, so.
Aw, thank you, Sarah's mom. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make you VIP if you ever come on our Twitch chat.
Sure.
And other news, again, we there's a lot of news that's coming up. We'll just talk about it a little bit after this little short break. So breaking news, did you hear that Dr. Disrespect has been banned from Twitch?
Yes! Literally just heard it like an hour ago. That's crazy.
Literally. And there's like no reason, or yeah, Twitch didn't give a reason why he was banned. And I don't think he was even part of the whole sexual harassment stories, so...
Not that we've heard, at least. We don't know. I mean, the closest thing was the whole California bathroom incident, which was just bizarre.
Which is last year.
Yeah, exactly. So because I remember he was suspended for a little bit, then brought back on. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that there have been allegations. We just haven't heard of any yet. I don't know. Maybe there's just been some other crazy stuff he's done and we just don't know about it. Who knows? But nothing's really been announced. Like even a lot of tweets haven't really figured out what's true, like there's like suspicions, but it's weird. I'm guessing he will not be the last.
No, I know there's already been people that has been banned. Some people thought it was maybe because the copyright, the DCMA. That was another part of the news with Twitch, the whole copyright where you can't have any music playing, otherwise you can get banned or get a copyright strike because of it, which is really
it's just super annoying because now they're being like YouTube, by the way, and it's just how like music copyright is working like in these industries is really terrible because it's not actually even helping the artist. It's only for the publishing companies or the music producing companies, excuse me. Those are the ones who are pulling this. People who are like already have way too much money to know what to deal with. So it's just so depressing. There are some artists that are, more pushy than others. I like Taylor Swift, but she is one of those that can be a little bit more pushy about her copyrights and stuff like that.
I love her though.
I know, that's the problem. Is I do actually legit like her, and I love her music a lot. But she can be a little weird when it comes to copyright stuff. But but normally a lot of this stuff is not because of the artist; it's because of the producer. So it's just, very frustrating.
I am happy though. There have been some people, or like gaming companies, that say, "Hey, our music is copyright free. You are free to use our music." I think I saw. Who does Destiny? Who's the developers of Destiny? I totally forgot.
Is that Bungie?
Bungie, yes. Bungie, yeah, thank you. Bungie reported that, like, hey, you can use our music. You don't have to. You're fine. So I'm just glad that some people are aware of it and like putting it out there. You can use our music on Twitch. Use it all you want. Because this is just dumb. To me, it's just dumb.
It's so dumb. Dark Flux is saying that, music copyright laws are outdated. Not just music laws. I mean, even
everything.
With the advent of streaming, laws regarding copyright of like TV shows and how they pay like actors and stuff with reruns has been really bad too. It only benefits the publishing companies and producers, and so yeah, it's really bad. And this is just very frustrating because, like I said, YouTube has this stuff. I mean, I was doing a stream at YouTube way long ago, and I was doing this like funny flash game where the whole joke was the game itself is shorter than like the music at the end of it. And I actually had to have YouTube delete the music portion and whatever I said during that part because otherwise I don't think I was going to get a strike, but I was basically, they were going to put ads on my video before I even had ads, and all that money was going to go to the publishing company, the producers. So I was like, okay, no, this is dumb.
Man, it's just has YouTube even updated their DCMAs, or it's still the same nowadays?
I mean, I think it's the same, and I think it only gets worse, really. And the problem with YouTube is that one thing they've discovered, I don't know if they fixed this yet. This was an issue for some years ago, but I think it's still a huge issue. The problem is that I think like almost anybody can basically put a copyright strike against you. It doesn't have to necessarily be from a legit source. So like YouTube doesn't really vet the people who make the copyright claims. So there were issues that they discovered where like companies who would basically see any kind of like, there was a really dumb example of somebody wearing like an M on something, like something was clearly an M, but it looked like an upside down W that was maybe like kind of looked like a logo of a company, and they got a copyright strike against it because of that, like stupid stuff like that. Yeah, and so that's really the problem, is like some of it's their algorithms just automatically picking up stuff that doesn't make sense. But a lot of it also, like I said, is there's no repercussions against anyone who just faults copyright strikes, because you can fight against copyright strikes.
Right, you can.
And sometimes you'll win, but if you lose, there are more repercussions than if the person who initiated the copyright strike loses, so to speak. And that's the real problem.
Yeah.
So it's really dumb. And yeah, I guess people are making bots according to Darkflux, which I would not be surprised about. And it's just gross.
Well, the biggest problem with it, in my opinion, is it puts the onus on the person that they're putting the strike on
Exactly.
to fight for free use.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make any sense to me, because even the copyright strike maker doesn't have to have proof at all for their claim.
Yes.
And you have to drum up all the evidence yourself if you're striked against. And then if you go to court over it, because like DMCA isn't a copyright strike claim, it's actually a lawsuit. So they actually have to draft up not legislation, I can't even remember the name of the lawsuit form, and actually sue you for the DCMA claim, which is insane to me.
It absolutely is.
So, and I don't think we're ever going to see like any changes in copyright law until Mickey Mouse comes into public domain in the next couple of years, when Disney does their, I don't know, like every 60 years tries to keep Mickey Mouse from going into the public domain.
Yeah,
so we're
and
probably
all
going
of
to
their
see
stuff.
another extension, because they have billions of dollars to throw at this.
Yep. No, for sure, you're right, and that is the problem. The burden of proof. The burden of proof is basically on creators to go, no, this isn't a copyright claim, which makes no sense. It should be the burden of proof on the person making the copyright claim. It's not how it works. You're exactly right, and it's very frustrating and very dumb, and doesn't make any sense to me legally wise, considering how our legal system works. But they get away with it. So.
In other news, I know we have been talking a lot about Twitch. They did have a competitor called Mixer with Microsoft.
What now?
I know. Like, what competitor?
What's a Mixer? Anyway.
Obviously, there's no Mixer anymore. So apparently, Microsoft decided to cut off Mixer, and anybody who was under Mixer, like Ninja, who left Twitch, got a big deal with Mixer, is now with Mixer, and now Mixer is gone. They said, hey, we're offering you partnership with Facebook Gaming.
Yeah, which I can't believe is actually getting any traction, but whatever. Because I guess Facebook Gaming is technically a what do you call it? A competitor. Also, I think we froze.
You froze.
I froze, at least. Okay.
We're back.
All right, we back? Okay, we're back.
Sorry, like,
Okay.
you gotta cut that out.
we
Damn
froze
it.
for... Yeah, we froze for a second. So what I was trying to say is, I didn't even know Facebook Gaming was even a competitor, because I knew about it, but I didn't even think they were getting that much traction. But whatever, I guess they're so big that Mixer has to go to them, which is so strange.
Yeah, Facebook Gaming, really? I've seen people where actually Facebook Gaming actually wrote this whole thread, like a little fact sheet on what's going on. There was one that says, I don't even want to log into Facebook because I don't want my real name shown and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you can watch it. It's just that you don't have to sign into your Facebook, but if you want to comment, you got to sign in and et cetera, et cetera. You can make your own page, not with, I guess, like trying to get people to make creator pages versus you're using your own private Facebook to comment onto stuff. There was one fact that says, I don't trust you. Only my grandma uses Facebook. Why should I stream there? I was like, I'm glad Facebook Gaming actually wrote stuff about that, but
it is a true thing. I mean, I work with kids for a living. I know maybe of 2 that have Facebook pages. It's just not a thing with Gen Z folks anymore. It really isn't.
No, it's not.
Which I understand, to be honest with you, but it's really not. It is kind of seen as the old fogey social media page. Which, by the way, Gen Z basically comes out with a new social media app like every week, so I can't even keep track of them all. It's true. Like they tell me all this new stuff. I'm like, what's a what now? TikTok has been the one that has been around for probably the longest, but that one's a special case. Yeah. But yeah, it's just it is interesting. And what I find very surprising was that because people were unfortunately had to be dropped from Mixer, as they were going back to Twitch, and there's kind of some movement of people like, hey, drop your Twitch, if you had a Mixer presence, so that we can kind of help you, because people lost their jobs essentially.
Yeah. I've seen those. Have you seen those videos where Mixer partners were just like crying over it because they didn't even know, they just had these news drop and they're like, my job, like, what the heck? Well, this is my income.
Well, it's like going into work and there's a closed sign. I mean, that's basically what happened. And I do find it surprising that there wasn't some kind of system of them being able to be integrated into Facebook, or at least have that option. But I haven't heard of anyone being given that option, which is really shady to me.
So if you were a Mixer partner streamer or whatever, just make sure you read the contract. Get with a lawyer if you need to, especially with stuff that's happening, and read whatever Mixer is giving out. Beats by Face says, wouldn't that cut down on all trolls with the, not showing your name? Yes, essentially.
Yes and no. I think it cuts down on different types of trolls. I mean, I'm on Facebook a lot, and dude, the trolls are still there with their full names and pictures. It's just that people have an easier time making fun of you. I wouldn't say there are fewer trolls. I think there's just people who can really cut you more deeply if you're a troll, which maybe is what you want. But yeah, I mean, I think it might cut down certain types of trolls for sure. I don't think it'll cut down on everybody, though. People are just too brave.
Yeah, like Dark Rock says, I don't want my real name to be shown because I want to be a troll piece of shit.
Exactly. But yeah, like you said, it is a different, kind of troll. So I'll be curious to. I don't know. I get the ads for Facebook Gaming, but I never click on any of them.
I hate it when I watch. Not say that I hate it. Whenever I'm watching a video of something that I'm interested in, and it cuts through to Facebook Gaming because it sees that my interest is gaming, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this live stream. Can I just just watch this video of this cat still?
Yeah, exactly. Can I watch my Garbo videos, please?
I know, right? Man.
Oh, but they're so addicting. I get it. Yep.
What about the people already on Twitch trying to grind out idiots? I mean, they're still there.
They're still there. It's nothing new. I mean, it wasn't like Twitch went out of business. Now we all got to try to make it a Mixer.
Unless you were one of those people that got banned. I'm sorry.
That's true. But it's not that many. And yeah, I mean, it's different for sure, but there probably were people who weren't just on the Mixer platform. I imagine there were people who have a Mixer and a Twitch account. I don't have a Mixer account, but I'm sure if you had a Mixer account, you weren't necessarily just
Oh my god. The Mixer account sucks because it connects to your Microsoft account, and I have an old account, and I'm trying to stay with my brand with Cookie Persona, but I've had this old Microsoft account for the longest time. So it was a pain in the butt to deal with Mixer. I'm sorry, that's probably why I didn't go on Mixer.
Fair enough.
I had a Mixer account. It was just too much to deal with. So
yeah. I just realizing now it's changed, but if I were to go on Mixer, it probably would have at first connected to like my old grad school account, because for a while that's what my Microsoft account was attached to. So yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
It was a pain in the butt to deal with connecting everything. I'm like, I don't want to be Cookie, whatever it was. It was Cookie something. Like, I've always had that brand of Cookie something. But now I'm on brand with Cookie Persona. And
Right.
it was just a pain in the butt to deal with.
Oh,
So, good luck to all the Mixer partners. I mean, we
Yes.
wish you well.
Yeah,
Twitch
for
is
sure.
still open.
It's here.
And Facebook Gaming, at least they're giving, Twitch Mixer partners a chance on Facebook Gaming. Just be sure to read all the contracts and all the monetization. I heard Ninja was given a contract for Facebook Gaming. I think he said no to it, or
I
what
wouldn't
was
be
going on with
surprised.
that?
I actually didn't hear, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. Although, did you hear he's gonna try to go pro on Valorant or something?
Yes.
Cheesers. Oh boy.
For Valorant, from Fortnite to Valorant. Good luck. I mean,
Yeah.
they're totally different, but
These
I
are
would
very
like
different games.
I would like to see how he does in Valorant.
Yeah.
Come join RNG Tea.
We have a nice community. You won't be immediately made fun of.
No,
Oh,
Immediately, I
fuck
guess
that.
it's-
I'll make fun of him.
If we have Ninja on here, we're not gonna kowtow, but we need to at least be semi-polite. And by
He made
semi-polite,
$30 million by going to summer camp Mixer. Fuck him.
that's fine, but we might be able to get a cut of that if we're nice enough. I'm just kidding. But anyway.
Yeah, so he hasn't tweeted since the Mixer thing went down 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So I guess he's like arranging everything, and I wonder how his Ninja fans are doing. Not
I
seeing
wonder.
Ninja streaming.
I don't even know how many fans I mean, Ninja was one of those
No.
faces that literally once he moved to Mixer, I barely heard a word out of him. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I barely even remembered he existed.
No, he's
Or
been
his
doing.
Twitter's just been full of bullshit.
Gotcha, okay. I don't follow him on Twitter. Maybe that's the problem.
I mean, besides that, he's been doing a lot of deals because remember he like partnered, I think, with Adidas, like his own
oh
Adidas
yeah.
stuff.
I
So
do remember that
So
now.
it's not just because of streaming. He's been doing other
Yeah.
stuff with like commercials and
Yeah.
and
He had
deals
books
outside
out at
of
one
gaming.
point
Yeah.
and stuff. It's weird. Yeah.
He has 6
Weird.
million followers on Twitter.
Now the big question is will Twitch bring Shroud and Ninja back? Will they have to go to like YouTube gaming to stream?
Oh my god, I totally forgot about
Like-
YouTube gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a thing that still tries to be around.
There are other platforms still out there, and there's
Yeah.
like the obscure ones that try to hit a niche market, but like the same thing with the OWL where Twitch was like, no, we don't fucking want you anymore. That $90 million didn't make us anything. Fuck off. So they might end up having to go to Facebook or YouTube to
YouTube.
actually facilitate what they want to do.
Unless they want to like make a smaller business into something greater and put them on the map. I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
up to
Make their
them.
own stream. They'll make their own streaming.
Oh my god! Imagine if they made
The
their own
Ninja
streaming.
Ninja streaming.
service.
Oh damn.
Don't give
God,
them
I
that
hope not.
idea.
Oh
I hope
boy.
not.
I have spoken to the universe, so now it's a possibility. Ah, shit. What have I done?
I was gonna mention caffeine TV, but dang, you want to like let's make our own streaming service. Holy moly!
Oh, man, he's got the money to do it.
Or maybe
Just
he
don't-
just retires and just do
Right? I mean,
exorcism.
he could. If I had that amount of money, I would just retire. I feel like there's a certain amount of money that if I got, I would just be like, okay, bye. I'm gonna just do my own thing now. I'll donate to charity every once in a while. I don't have to work ever again. Sounds like a nice
Live
deal.
off the interest, yeah. The high life.
Exactly.
Omega Welltoss says there's rumor that Tencent is making their own streaming service. I was like, wait, Tencent? Do you mean 50 Cent? But I forgot there is a gaming people called Tencent.
Oh, I've never seen it like
With the
phrased
number
that
10.
way.
Yeah.
That's why I was so
Yeah,
confused,
Omega
too.
Wotal wrote it 10 cent, and I'm like
0
thinking
cents.
50 cents.
Now, is that for the Western audience? Because I know Tencent.
It's Chinese, right?
Yeah, they manage
Yeah.
a Chinese streaming network
Yeah.
over in
Oh.
China, which
Well,
is heavily regulated by Chinese government.
Right.
So
You know.
I don't really want that service over here in the West. So I'm not going to that shit.
Although, if you had told me we were just making a joke about 50 Cent doing it, if you had told me that Soldier Boy was making his own streaming channel, I would believe that.
I would believe that too.
Yeah.
Kinda. Oh,
It's gonna be
but-
a game like just Twitch copied over. They're going
It
through their
is,
API. Yeah.
oh my gosh, yes. Exactly.
No, I give props though. I love how the hip hop community and wrestling community have been coming onto Twitch. It's been a lot more fun and a lot more stuff to watch on Twitch, and
Yeah.
I've just been having trouble trying to find the time to watch it, especially when everyone's working from home and everyone just has their day off. So they've been streaming around the day, and I've been missing streams. So
Yeah.
T-Pain has been moving up on the
Oh my
Twitch world.
gosh.
It's so crazy. He makes his own beats on stream, and he's like, "Hey, use it." I'm like, "This is so freaking cool." Last time I checked, he had like 50,000 people, I think, watching
Oh my
him
gosh.
make beats. So, anyway, Sarah's yawning. I think this
Sorry.
is the end of the podcast.
Oh, come on! I'm just. Anyway, we can't end though.
No, actually, yeah, we've come to the end. It's been a minute. If you don't,
Been a roller coaster of a
It's-
ride.
it has been from our lives to everything that's been happening with Black Lives Matter, Pride Month, and the whole sexual harassment, and all these new things that have been coming out. Did you see the new Cyberpunk 2077 trailer?
Yeah,
by the way?
it's being pushed to November 19th.
Yeah, and that has been pushed. So,
We didn't even make it to the Steam sale.
oh my
know.
god, I forgot to mention about that. The Steam Summer Sale.
There is a Steam Summer Sale. If you're living under a rock, go get it. I haven't even done it, so.
Anyway, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us at RNG Tea here. Again, follow us on our social media. Find out when is our next monthly podcast. It seems like we're doing it every last Friday of the month.
So far, yeah, last or second to last Friday of the month. So, expect something like that probably.
Yeah, just follow us on our social media. Find out when we're on. Again, that's twitch.tv/RNGNT, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Find us there, as well as subscribe to our podcast. Follow us there. Leave us a review. As always, we want to listen to your review and read it out loud here on this podcast, even if it is weird, horrible, or just, hi. That'd be great. I would like to read this review.
Just a hi would be fine. We'll say something.
Just something. You can follow us on our own personal social media. Again, I am at Cookie Persona, KOOKY, on all social media platforms. And Sarah?
You can find me on Twitter at Sarahscopic, SARAHSCOPIC.
And Lloyd?
Well, my Twitter hasn't been banned yet, but it's LLOID_RNG, Lloyd RNG, Lloyd _RNG, however you want to say it, do it, follow me. I bitch at people about political crap
He
all
does.
the time.
It does.
So you can have fun with that.
And again, thank you for staying with us until the last drop. And we will see you or hear from you next time.
This episode was produced by Christine Solis, Sarah Skopic, and Aaron Pillen. Please support RNG and Tea by sharing this podcast with your family, friends, and fellow gamers and leaving us a review. Intro music in this episode is by Home and outro music by Stoopy Doken. Check out both these artists and their music at soundcloud.com. RNG and Tea and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.